Hello and welcome to the What's On podcast, where we talk about films and we discuss films and we review films. I'm Billy Ray.
I'm Ellie.
I'm Tom.
So today we're talking about Ocean's 8. Brief synopsis. Debbie Ocean gathers an all-female crew to attempt an impossible heist at New York City's yearly Met Gala. So this has an all-female cast. Well, mostly. The main characters are all female. But Sandra Bullock is arguably the main character.
Yeah.
And it's alluded to that she's...
Danny Ocean's younger sister, I believe.
Having not seen the previous films, I'm kind of assuming that that's George Clooney's character.
George Clooney's Danny Ocean? Yeah,
Yes.
I think it's George Clooney.
It is George Clooney.
Have you two seen the previous films at all?
I've seen all of the Ocean's films. It's one of those series. So you know I talk about how me and my mum like to watch shit films together?
Yeah.
Like we love Fast and the Furious and Resident Evil. The Ocean's films is another series of films that me and my mum have watched together. They are good, bad films. Like, they're not amazing films to watch. Well, they're not amazing films in terms of how, creative they are, really, because it's just heist films. You can't...
Oh, that's a shame. I feel like heist films have a
but
real opportunity to be creative.
They are really good films. They're just really good films the way that the Resident Evil films are really good films.
Ouch.
You can't take them too seriously because they do stuff and it's like, how the fuck did you know this was going to happen? Like, what are you, psychic?
Oh, yes, that's fair enough.
The Ocean's films remind me a bit of Snatch. They're very cheeky.
Yeah.
So you can't take them too seriously because it is is happening is very, very serious. You don't imagine these people, with these big smiles on their faces and, throwing jokes and stuff. This would be far more deeply planned and more like, no, you need to look at me because if we get caught doing this is going to send us away for a long time. It's all just playful, which they conveyed really well into this, I think.
So
they kept that going.
It'd be more like intricately detailed planning for a long time.
We'd see. I think we saw one throwaway cut of like blueprints. There would be a lot more blueprints.
Yeah. If this was real life, like the walls would be covered with plans, and there'd be like a code on the door just to get in here, sort of shit. But she comes up with the idea in prison, and ropes in a bunch of people. One of the people she ropes in is Helena Bonham Carter's character. It's just some random designer.
Who's in debt? She's massively in debt. But the thing is, they're calculating a lot on someone's ability to keep quiet. Firstly,
my point in real life is, if I was doing a heist, I wouldn't rope in some random designer that's in debt to help me out, because how likely is that person just to be like, sweet, I know somebody that's about to pull off a heist. If you tell me who it is, you could just then go to the government and sell these people out.
Yeah, I know. There's
get your shit back.
There's a lot of social manipulations. Like, so the whole point of the heist was you needed to get Daphne, stupid name, I can't remember. It was a horrible last name. I hated it.
Anne Hathaway's character.
Yes, Anne Hathaway's character had to wear the necklace, and then in order to get her to wear the necklace, you had to get the designer to make the dress to go with the necklace. So that's why she had to be roped in. But again, it's so many social manipulations that, like, how do you know that someone's going to keep quiet?
This film has a lot of characters.
Yeah.
Just saying, like, the main cast consists of 8 different calibers of female actor, and that's a lot of characters to take into consideration.
It's actually a little bit less ambitious than the other Ocean's films, because the other Ocean's films are Ocean's 11, 12 and 13. And this only having 8 of lead characters, quote unquote, main and secondary characters, really. So it's a little bit less ambitious, but I think having fewer characters gave all of the characters more time to shine. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there was a lot of build up for each character, but that for me kind of made the beginning of the film quite boring and slow paced, which I didn't like. Like, if you put it into a definitive beginning, middle and end, I didn't really like the beginning very much. From a film standpoint, I thought it was very slow.
Yeah, it's a stereotypical problem with heist films, though, isn't it? Because the most exciting part of the film is obviously going to be the heist.
Yeah.
To build to the heist, you have to set the scene and introduce the characters at the very beginning of the film. And because this film, or these films, in regards to all of the Ocean's films, have a lot of characters, they do suffer from a very slow beginning. Not as much in, like, 12 and 13, because obviously you've been introduced to the characters by then, because it's the start of a new saga of Oceans films. I'd assume they're not going to just cut it here. It was good. Like, I assume they're going to do another Oceans film.
Yeah, and they kind of have to spend some time on each character because of the caliber of these actors as well.
Exactly.
Like, you can't have Helena Bonham Carter or Rihanna, for that matter, as a throwaway character.
No, and they were all really good. Who was your favourite, though, of all the characters? Did you like the best?
Oh, of the characters. Okay, so forgetting the actresses, right? Who's the Asian lady? I forgot her name. She steals things.
She's Tammy, the stealer.
Yeah, she was. I liked her. I thought she was funny, and she looks really sharp in her suit. So
she did look really cool.
She still look good in the suit.
In terms of actors, I really like Helena Bonham Carter.
She was good in the film. She was really good.
I stand corrected. Tammy was the suburban mum.
Sarah Paulson.
There was Sarah Paulson. Yeah, she was my favourite. I absolutely loved her, particularly because when you pan in on her and she's kind of trying to make a healthy smoothie for her kid who is kicking the ball around the house, and she's going, honey, and she's sort of this stereotypical depressed, down, suffocated housewife who can't discipline her children sort of thing. And then Debbie comes in, Sandra Bullock's character, and they go into the garage because obviously she doesn't want the kid to know that Debbie is here, and you just reveal this whole other side to her. It's just amazing, and I like it because it also it's a lot like a lot of other, as we were saying, cheeky films where it is predominantly men and they have these quirks about them where they like to steal things, or they like to do, that's her thing. She likes to steal. And
yeah, she's a massive nymphomaniac.
Yeah, not nymphomaniac, kleptomaniac.
Sorry. Oh my god. No. Sorry. Yeah. You walk into her garage and it's just full of stuff.
Sex toys.
Yeah.
Oh god.
There were a couple of washing machines in there.
I was gonna say there's washing machines. There's loads of bikes, and she's like, "Oh, do you like to cycle?"
Yeah. And then it's when the funny thing as well when they've decided, okay, I'll come and talk to you about this heist, and she goes,
how do you explain this to your husband?
And she just goes, eBay. Because she's playing the part of the housewife so well that the husband does not think that she could possibly be doing something like that.
Yeah.
I mean, how on earth would she get away with it? But she is.
That's a strong argument. She's great.
Yeah.
Who's your favourite character?
I liked Kate Blanchett's character.
Oh yeah, she was cool.
She was really cool.
Constance was the
Asian
lady pickpocket, and I can't actually say it. Al Kawifa.
She's quite new, isn't she? I think we spoke about her before. You said she was in a TV show. She's fairly new.
She was in Crazy Rich Asians. And she was on the Nora Lum. She was on Trevor Noah, which I love to watch.
So this film's kind of cool because it's got actors of very different calibers. Like you've got the very well-known actresses who are very prominent, like Sandra Bullock, Kate Blanchett, Helena Bonham Carter. But then you've got these sort of lower, lesser well-known ones like this one, and then also Rihanna's taken a role as well.
Yeah.
Who is predominantly a singer, of course. So you've got quite a different range, which is kind of cool.
I like Rihanna's character. Very cool and relaxed.
It was a very simple character for Rihanna to play, if we're being honest.
Which is good, because she's
good,
not an actress.
Because, she's predominantly a musician. So doing something that's within her range is... Jason Statham only plays stuff that is in that range. So you can't really fault her for doing it because his sole job is an actor and he only ever plays the same character. But he's really fucking good at it. So...
I also liked the fact that she had a little sister, which actually kind of gave her character depth in a way, because don't you remember, I think it was Lou turned to her and said, what do your parents do?
Oh yeah.
Or who are your
what
parents?
do your parents do?
Yeah, because one of them is a hacker and the other one can just look at a security device and be like, oh yeah, I know how to make that.
Yeah,
like,
she knows her tech.
Yeah, they both seem
very techie.
Yeah, so and I like the fact that they are, they're black women, and that's not seen in films a lot at all, and I love it. I think the last time we saw even a slightly really techie film would be Star Trek.
Black Panther.
Black Panther, actually, yeah, no, I completely forgot. Yeah, that. So that, I really like it. And it was convincing as well, because obviously you have the characters like, where she's going, I can see your path everywhere, I've seen everywhere you've been, I've already tapped into your phone.
She turns the lights off, she turns the power off to the building.
Yeah. And then she says something at one point where she goes, oh yeah, that's easy, I can do that. And Lou, the character of Kate Blanchett, turns around and goes, well, work harder then. Lots of quippy, comebacks in this. I really enjoyed it. A little bit long, I felt, but I think all films are long in those horrible cinema chairs.
Yeah.
Do something about it, Odeon.
It's a very long beginning, but it's very good that we can have all female cast films, and I don't know, cinema's veering more towards a really progressive stage now where we can do things like that, and it's really brave and it's good for women. It's empowering. Do you think it's empowering as a woman?
I mean, yes, but not the audience that was there. That felt a bit disheartening. But yeah, I suppose, but I don't know whether sometimes I need to take a step back and be like, I don't know if I'm just getting all caught up in everything and being like, woo, vagina! Like, is it really as I don't know.
But do you feel like cinema has been such a, since
white male dominated world,
you've shouted the word for vagina, mostly a sausage fest, so now that you see an all-female cast, you have the right and the happiness to actually be able to shout yay vagina at an all-female cast film. Like, does that give you a rush of endorphins and you can just...
I suppose so, yeah, because I mean, look at Lock, Stock and Two Smoking Barrels, Snatch, all the Oceans films, like, it's all men. Even when you look at, that's why I'm really excited to see Widows, which was a trailer that came up, that looked sick. But yeah, it is mostly just sort of men behaving badly sort of thing, and it is interesting to see, not just like sort of one or two women who are part of it, or maybe the wives, they are actually planning it, doing it, cracking out, and succeeding. And I don't know if there are any others. Maybe I should do my research a bit deeper. But I part of the reason I wanted to go, because I was like, oh yeah, girls.
Yeah, because when films like this come out, all the meninists are like, oh, the females are taking over cinema, and their fear and upsetness gives me so much power.
It
gives you happiness.
It did when I saw the trailer first, or when I heard of it, not saw the trailer, because when I saw the trailer I was like, damn, this is going to be good. When I heard of it, I was a bit like, oh, is it going to be like Ghostbusters, where they did it female just simply for just do it? I don't know if it was particularly quality.
It's not a good Ghostbusters film.
No.
But it's a lot to live up to, considering, because Ghostbusters is hilarious.
It is, and they did do it women just for the sake of being women, rather than, I think, actually just looking for a really decent cast, regardless of their gender. Now, it's a bit different in Ocean's 8, because obviously you have the sister of Danny Ocean, who clearly feels a bit more comfortable at this moment only working with women, because her partner in crime before, well, not her partner in crime, because her partner in crime is Lou, but her partner who she had done crimes with had betrayed her, so she doesn't trust men in pulling off something like this, not to just be greedy and take for themselves what they want.
She doesn't trust men, even to the point where she doesn't think her brother's dead.
Yeah.
She's like, I don't think he's dead.
Oh yeah, that's a plot point.
They do. They say, oh, is your brother dead? And she goes, I don't know. She's visited his grave several times. She still does, but she doesn't actually believe he might be dead.
Oh yeah, I forgot that Danny Ocean's meant to be dead. But I haven't seen the film, so I didn't know if he died in the films or not.
They've now opened it up to, well, maybe he's not, and that's clever, because now they could do all those films, and if George Clooney wants to join in, great. And if not, well, then he's dead.
Yeah.
Even, George Clooney, Brad Pitt,
So just to clarify, you don't feel like this film was like the Ghostbusters film in the fact that they made it just for the sake of doing an all-female cast?
Yes, I think it wasn't like, oh, well, let's just make them women, that will get people in. It was, right, we're going to write this.
It was more like, we need a heist film and we want a female cast this time.
Because it's
and
different.
Oceans has already paved the way.
Yeah, when has it ever really been done? And it wasn't, it was written in an intelligent way, I felt. It felt, I wouldn't say realistic, because obviously it's an Oceans film, but
let's not go too far.
The interactions felt real between the characters.
It's good if you can watch a heist film and think, yeah, that could happen.
Yeah. I could see these people doing this.
I mean, it couldn't. Don't try this at home, but...
Yeah, for God's sake, don't.
But if you watch the film and think, logically, maybe this could happen, then I think the film's done a good job.
I also like the fact that I do think they used to their advantage that they don't think people wouldn't think women would do that.
Yeah.
Their characters don't look like they'd be doing something like that.
Oh no, especially Hannah Bonham Carter. She's fucking quirky as fuck. She looks mental.
Well, James Corden's character was on it though, wasn't he?
He was good, but he knew the oceans.
Yeah.
That was a really nice surprise when he showed up. I was like, oh my
Did you not
god.
know he was going to be in it at all?
I had no idea he was going to be in it, and then I just saw him. I was like, ah, it's this guy.
He was really, really good as well. Like, really good. He did kind of just play, I think, a slightly more serious version of himself, though.
He did. He was corrupt as fuck.
Yeah. He was just waiting for his chip. He was just waiting for somebody to approach him and be like, look, this can be your cut.
Yeah.
This is what happened. Well, I'm not even going to give you all the information, but...
I'll tell you where to catch somebody that didn't actually do it.
But he just wants to find...
Yeah, he didn't care. He just wanted to find the necklace.
He was quite important though, because his character came in during the end of the film, like one of the more end scenes, and
Yeah.
he did bring it a bit more of a beat when it was closing the film off, which was nice. So it seemed to consistently have some humour and just some pace to it. Even the beginning, which I feel like I'm shitting on a bit too much and being a bit nitpicky, but it was very slow paced, but it was very comedic.
We will watch Ocean's 11 together.
Okay.
And suddenly
Just
that will
so that
feel like a
you-
really quick opening.
Just so that you can get a feel for what Ocean's 11 started like.
Yes.
Because it does feel like an Ocean's film.
Yeah.
Like, really feels like an Ocean's film, so...
It's weird though, because the beginning feels like it was by a different director or something. It's just so much slower paced, and even the shot constructions are different. Like there's you know those transitions where the screen is split into 3 different shots vertically, and then the left side and the right side come down on the screen, and the middle one goes up at the same time, and it cuts to one shot.
Have you seen any Ocean's films? Like
No,
that's...
no,
No, I haven't.
Seen any Ocean's
Well,
films.
But what happens is the left one and the right one come down, the middle one goes up, and it cuts to the shot, and then it starts panning up, which you can't do because the other shots have already gone down and one's gone up, so it's confusing to view. And as a film student, I didn't like that, so it felt a bit messy because the heist was so intricate and so well shot and everything.
That's a pretty standard Ocean's shot, mate. Like...
No, it wasn't the fact that it wasn't the transitions.
No,
it was
everything
the
about
camera
it.
pan.
It was cutting from the transition
Yeah,
to
yeah.
panning.
Oh,
You can't
okay.
do that because you've already established 2 different directions, and you can't then just suddenly veer off into one direction
But why not? They just did.
because it looks bad.
But they just did it.
It's confusing for the
But
eyes.
they just did it.
And they broke the 180-degree rule quite a few times. It was really annoying.
Yeah, but they did it.
Yeah, but it's annoying.
But they did it.
What's the 180-degree rule?
Yeah.
Explain that to us, because
That's when-
I know for a fact that Ellie doesn't know what it means, and
That's
she's just
right,
saying
okay,
this to
so-
wind you up.
That's right. So 360 degrees is a circle, obviously,
Yeah.
right? So if you cut that in half to 180
Yeah.
degrees, that's where the camera can shoot within that 180 degrees, because then if you cut to the other side and you show a completely unestablished part of the shot, it confuses the audience and it looks a bit odd.
They do it for scene change.
Hmm?
I'm pretty sure they do stuff like that for scene change. The camera will, like, I think it's in an Ocean's film. It's like one scene is going and the camera pans and like the wall just goes and it's just a different scene. But it just through a camera pan. And
Yeah,
it just
that's-
pans
that's
completely
cool,
into
though.
a different scene. They do
It's
stuff
cool with
like
transitions, so
Yeah.
it's a bit messy. But that doesn't really happen in the middle or the end. So it's...
Got their shit together.
Yeah, I feel like they were shooting all the scenes for the beginning, and then the director just got bored and was just like, we just need to do it.
that. Let's just wrap this up.
Because the heist scenes were really fun, and they were shot really well. Like, as a film, can't pick that apart.
Got the heist.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
from a shot construction point of view, it's really good.
At the end as well, when they did the big reveal of just quite how much they had stolen.
So yeah, the heist, right?
Yeah, let's talk about the heist. The middle of the film.
The all-female heist crew that just has a little Chinese dude help them out. 'Cause, you know, the little Chinese dude is in the Ocean's film, so he's great. I love him.
Oh,
I can't remember the actor's name, but he essentially does a very similar thing to what he does in the other Ocean's films. He's like an acrobat. So
him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he uses to like dodge the lasers. That came out of nowhere. Very Ocean style, you know. How they're doing this big heist to get this one piece of jewellery, but at the same time, just casually stealing like 10 others without the rest of the crew knowing.
Yeah, that was mental. Right at the end of the film, after the heist, and they just chuck that in there, like, oh, by the way, while you guys were busy, we stole everything else as well. It's like, oh, okay. But it was very well done. It was crazy, and they made so much money.
Mm.
They all made so much money.
Yeah.
Their faces when they realised how much money they had made from this heist as well. I love when it cuts to shots of what they're doing with all their money.
Yeah,
And,
it was.
some of them are doing very glamorous things, and then like Rihanna and Constance are not doing such glamorous things.
Yeah, Constance becomes a YouTuber in a penthouse
Oh,
flat
yeah.
and just her skateboard.
Yeah.
And Rihanna's character Nineball opens a bar called Nineball.
Yeah. What were the other ones doing? I think they were doing some really fancy stuff that you'd expect.
Yeah. The housewife woman, who I can't remember her name or the actress's name now,
Had a warehouse full of
presumably stolen shit.
What was she doing? I'm guessing she
looked
made
like
her own.
she's a fence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, she is a fence because she calls her that at one point. Debbie, Sandra Bullock, comes to her in the garage and she says, "Oh, I've got this, I've got that, and I've got this. I just need a fence." And she's like, "I don't do that anymore." And she's looking around her like, "Oh, really? You cycle a lot."
You cycle a lot? It's a great line.
She made a great fence as well.
Yeah.
In 3.5 weeks, the Met will be hosting its annual ball, and we are going to rob it.
You know, the heist scene had some beautiful shots.
Oh, it
really
did actually.
did. Like, obviously, I think the main ones that we can take away from it are when the heist is done and they're just all walking down the stairs in their gowns.
Well, it's the Met University, not university, museum. So it's a very beautiful building, just quite naturally. You ever seen what it looks like? You've been to New York?
No, but I've seen this film, so
This is true.
This
is true.
It was quite funny seeing them all walk down because they all would like all glance around themselves, and you as the audience, you know they're looking around because they're nervous and they're all walking out with a piece of it, aren't they?
some of them are nervous anyway.
Yeah, they're all walking out with a piece of the jewellery.
Like Mindy Kaling looked quite nervous, but like
You could pass that off as somebody who's never been to the Met Museum and the Met Gala before, you know, looking around at all the dresses and things.
Yeah, whereas Sandra Bullock and a few of them, Rihanna for example, they just strolled down there with so much swag. They were not nervous at all, and they looked amazing. They all looked amazing in all their gowns and stuff. And then Kate Blanchett shows up in her like, what's it called when it's not a dress? She had like
it's like a
playsuit.
Playsuit.
Yeah, she had that trouser dress thing where, you know, when the legs are together it looks like a dress. She looked really cool. I got some nice lesbian vibes off them too, actually. Off of Debbie and Kate Blanchett's character. Just at the end, you know, when she comes out and she just walks out in her attire, and then she just looks out across the road like, yeah, that's my girl. I thought they were going to ride off on a motorbike into the sunset at the end or something. I really did. I could see it happening.
Beautiful. On her phone as well, when she called her out from jail, it said JLBIRD. her Sandra Bullock's character in Kate Blanchett's phone was Jailbird.
Oh. I was really confused. I was like, that's not a word.
We were saying about how they stole all the other jewellery though. I really like that they did that because even though the heist went down without a hitch, as you would expect, and then, you know, the guy got busted for it, I feel like this extra layer of the theft. Is it a theft?
Yes.
Don't want to get it wrong because Becky's in the house. This extra layer of thievery gave it a really nice, satisfying ending. So I could just walk out the cinema like, yeah, they did it.
Nobody's even noticed yet that the others are gone, really.
No, they're not expecting. They wouldn't think to look. They would never think to check. But no alarms went off for them. Nobody was seen anywhere near them.
Those shots of all the jewellery on those mannequin things, not mannequins, but you know, the art.
Yeah, they were mannequins.
They looked beautiful on the water as well. Some really beautiful shots in that museum. I liked it.
When she was eating the soup, that was not a beautiful shot. Why would you eat the black blobs in yellow? That's clearly not good for you.
Oh yeah, she was living for that soup, wasn't she?
She was living. Well, she hadn't eaten in 3 days.
I think the character that I liked the least was Anne Hathaway's character. Naturally, I feel like you're supposed to not like her because she's so uptight. But what was she so famous for again? Like, why was she?
I assume they didn't really explain. They said she was famous, and she's a model or an actress or something. I don't even think it's really relevant to the plot. I think it matters that she's famous. It doesn't really matter what she's famous for.
Yeah.
It kind of bugged me at the end when she joined their team, and I was just like, oh, go away. Don't
Well,
like you.
It made sense because up until that point it was only split between the 7 of them.
Yeah. I was like, why is it called Ocean's 8?
Eight.
There's only
Yeah.
7 of them.
Yeah, it didn't make much sense, did it, until that point? So it was necessary, I suppose, because yeah.
But it was funny as well because it also showed a weakness in the way that it had planned, in that obviously they couldn't plan for everybody to be perfect, and Helen Bonham Carter's character was not going to be perfect. She gave it away by having her phone. She roused suspicion in her, but then obviously Debbie's character saw that and then came to her and was like, you like money, I will show you a way to make lots of money.
Oh yeah.
So.
Helena Bonham Carter's character was so nervous. She was a bit of a mess.
Amazing Irish accent, though.
Yeah, you go,
Jesus.
girl.
That's good.
Didn't drop it once, I don't think.
Well, they wouldn't have put a dropping her accent in the film.
I don't know, they do it with Liam Neeson. They just slowly phase any sort of accent he might have tried in the beginning out until he's just back to his roots by the end.
He just slowly becomes Liam Neeson again. By the end of the film.
That's because everyone loves Liam Neeson, so you have to have him be Liam Neeson by the end of it.
That's fine.
Otherwise, you're going to lose your audience.
Yeah.
No, but I agree with you. It was good that they showed some sort of fault in the plan, some kind of weakness. Because if it all did just go off without a hitch 100% well, it would have been a bit too unbelievable.
It also wouldn't have been exciting. There's always got to be a bit of, oh, is it going well? Is it working?
Oh yeah, all
You've
those
got to have
little
some
snags
tension.
in the plan.
Yeah, little bits of tension, little bits of the occasional hiccup.
Like when they introduced the magnet that unlocks the necklace, and it
Yeah.
was like, shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, she hadn't thought of what the clasp would be like. You could never have predicted it. And then so she's videoing it with her camera, which alerts Anne Hathaway's character that there's potentially something going on. And she's going, oh, look at that. Oh, it's amazing.
Can you show me how to do the skin?
Yeah. That's over and over. And nobody thinks, they just think she's a nutty designer who, because when she's like having to scan it with the glasses as well, and she's got her face right up against it, and you've got, is it Mindy?
Mindy Calling.
Misty Calling in the background going,
From The Office.
yes, but she is in the background going, this is part of her process. And she's going, yes, process. Just staring at this fucking, nobody would think otherwise that she's scanning it. If it was a man doing it, they'd be like, are you alright, mate? But for her, it's like, oh, she's just a bit fucking nutty, but you know.
Oh, she was perfect as that character.
She-
It suited her so well, because she's quirky in real life anyway. Some of the things that she wears.
She's beautiful. I love her. She's who Tasha will become.
Don't build her ego up like that.
I do love Hannah Bonham Carter. It's so nice to see her in stuff. It's been ages.
It's been a while.
I don't think I've seen her in anything since her and Tim Burton got divorced.
Oh,
Well, that's because nobody else puts her in films.
Oh!
It
Oh, that's horrible. Edit that out. Don't put that in.
I'm sorry if that is staying in. That is hilarious.
No!
Oh, it's funny.
Oh, she's so nice.
She is, and she's really good in the film. And I'm sure she's a good sport, and she'll never hear this, so we don't have to worry about it.
And if she does,
I'm so sorry.
I want to meet her. She's wonderful. And even she shows up in just the craziest dress. You know, to the gala. She's wearing like that big flowery head thing. She's
With the sunglasses
She
and the
looks
white
like-
dress.
She looks like she belongs in Hunger Games.
She
yes,
does.
she does. She does. She looks like Effie's character. Elizabeth Banks. Elizabeth Banks' character. Effie's character.
Yeah.
Oh, fun fact: Elizabeth Banks was going to play Sarah Paulson's character.
I'm kind of glad she didn't.
Sarah Paulson.
Sarah Paulson is Tammy, the
Soccer mum.
Kleptomaniac.
Oh,
The girl,
right.
the
Yeah,
woman
yeah.
from American Horror Story.
Oh, yeah. The
I
from Coven.
All
she's
of them.
from all of them.
Is she?
Yeah,
Yeah.
she's in all of them in some way, but she's predominantly in Coven. Yes, so I know where you've got that from.
I think
Cool.
her main role was in Asylum, and
Oh, is that the one from
Cult.
Nuns?
Yeah, Asylum. She plays Lana Winters.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Man. Horrible memory of American Horror Story. I just fall asleep during it.
Oh, I like American Horror. She's a wonderful actress
She is
as well.
fantastic.
She's so pretty. She looks really good in this film. Bit of a lower grade actress, but I'm glad that she's getting some main film roles. Well, not lower grade. Well, yeah, lower grade. But mainly a TV actress more than a film actress, I'd say.
Yeah, she didn't. Yeah, I mean,
I'd say tier than grade.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's much nicer. Tia,
Yeah.
that's what I meant. I didn't mean to sound
Yeah, 'cause
reductive. I'm
Great,
sorry.
yeah, that sounds kind of mean.
Yeah. Didn't mean it in that way, Sarah. Sorry.
Again, probably not going to hear it. Don't worry about it. Don't kick the microphone.
I'm so sorry, Billy.
Why would you kick the microphone?
I've got an itchy leg from all the bites and the
So you
sun.
kicked the microphone?
It was an accident.
Aw. Also, we haven't spoken about Sandra Bullock's boyfriend character in this film, who she gets some really sick revenge on.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's a good point, actually. The revenge plot.
Because that kind of drives a lot of this film. So basically, in a previous heist, he gets her to sign a few papers.
Not
and
heist.
Not heist.
They were
Art
selling.
deal.
They were doing art deals.
Criminals,
Fraudulent.
Yeah.
art
They
bad
were-
art deals.
They were criming.
Yeah, the hardcore criming and stuff.
So basically, Sandra Bullock's character, her boyfriend frames her, and she goes to jail, which is why she's been in jail for like 5 years or something, or 7 or something like that.
Some amount of time.
5 years, 8 months and something days, because that's how long it took her
And
to
then-
come up with the plan.
And then the rest of her plan revolves around stealing this jewelry to get the money, but she's secretly also framing the boyfriend who she has set up to be there, which obviously kind of peeves off Cate Blanchett's character, because it's a bit of a, oh shit, like we're gonna get caught because you've got a personal
Connection
gain
to
here.
it, yeah.
Yeah.
It's got to be cold. It can't have anything happen with that. And she's like, no, it's just a cherry on the top sort of thing. And it is. I mean, it works out, doesn't it?
I thought that played out really well, because I was kind of thinking, oh, this could go wrong, because he could recognise her, he could see her there, and then it could all come crumbling down. Because it just takes one lead, which could lead to every other thing, and that could connect all the characters. And I thought these characters could easily get busted for this because of this plot point.
But Debbie made sure she was seen not stealing it.
Yeah, I mean, that's James Corden makes a point of saying that. It's like, I've got a dozen innocent people that are suspects and one non-innocent person that isn't.
Yeah, she was very smart about it. She made sure that she was in those camera shots. It was awesome.
And that's when they're trying to explain to the security system about you have a blind spot, and he's like, no, it's just the bathroom, and he's like, no, there's a blind spot because you can't see. He's not in the bathroom, but you can't see him.
Oh yeah, James Corden's character is so funny in this film. He's so pedantic.
He was there. The thing as well, he was in it for a very short space of time, but every moment of him was so well used and a good. It wasn't a throwaway. It was there was a reason he was there.
Yeah,
it's
it worked
also-
for the plot.
It's also Americans are really into like his style of soft, family-friendly humour.
Funny Englishman.
Yeah, he's very big, friendly, jolly Englishman.
It was just that one bit that you were talking about where he's saying that it's a blind spot, and the man who's in charge of the security for the museum's like, it's not a blind spot, it's just we focus all of our cameras on the artwork so no one would think to go there. He's like, okay, we'll just call it the part where you can't see what's happening.
Yeah.
So and the bathroom where you can't see what's happening. It's just... But yeah, and then the boyfriend does get arrested and framed for it, and it's perfect. It's such good closure.
Yeah,
Love it.
it's nice. It's a good what goes around comes around kind of story.
Yeah,
It's
the film
cyclical.
comes full circle.
Yeah, cyclical. Thank
Cyclical. And you don't feel like she's done anything wrong either, because she went to prison for his crime, and now he'll go to prison for her crime.
Full circle. It's another reason why I love the ending. It's got a lot of satisfying conclusions. So she gets her revenge. He goes to jail. They all get a fuck ton of money because they stole a whole bunch of extra shit, which you find out about, and then you get that little extra high scene of the Chinese man going over all the lasers and stuff. And how epic was that? That was really cool.
That was really good. It's because when she was buying the submarine way earlier, so they actually alluded to the...
Yeah, she buys the boat earlier on in the film. You're like, what she buy the boat for? And you forget about the boat,
You
and
do.
then they use the boat to get the Jaws across the water. It's like, oh, okay.
So they do allude to the audience the whole time that this is part of the plan. This isn't just snuck in. This is all the point of it.
It's really tense as well, those moments. I felt especially tense when Mindy Kaling is in the toilet cutting up the jewellery into pieces.
Oh God, yeah.
And the security guard is about to walk towards her door, and everyone's like, get out of there, abort. And she's like, no, I'm nearly done. tense.
Yeah, and then they're saying, Tammy, drop it, drop the, find the necklace, and she goes, oh, it's in here, and she pulls it out of the water, and because she's female and because she's got this soft demure,
and she works for the museum.
They're just gonna believe her.
Yeah,
that got me because I was like, oh come on. But it works because they're using her femininity as a way of saying no one's gonna believe that she could pull this off, sort of thing, which is very powerful. So very good
and very plausible as well. I think particularly, if George Clooney had done that, they'd be like, all right, buddy, where did you come from? Why aren't you evacuated out with everybody else? Like, oh, I work here. Oh, that doesn't matter. It would have been a lot more like they would have jumped on him.
Yeah, I agree with that wholeheartedly. So they did a really good job of using the sort of feminine stereotypes to
their advantage.
Yeah, to help towards the character development in this film.
Do you think there'll be more with the women, or do you think they'll mix it? Or?
I'd like a Ocean's 9 and Ocean's 10, because then we'd have 9 through 13.
We could introduce Meryl Streep. She'd be great in that film.
She would be amazing.
Yeah, what other actors do you think you'd want to see in another film if they did another female Ocean's film, or just an ensemble female cast film in the future?
Mate, Helen Mirren.
Yes.
Helen Mirren. I would also like to see the woman from Orange Is the New Black, the transgender lady. Sophia.
I think, to be honest, Laverne Cox.
She is beautiful. I would love to see her because actually I find she's very feminine, and I think she's really sassy as well, and I think she'd do really well. Really well.
That'd be cool. Who was one you just said just now? Helen Mirren.
Oh, she would be sick.
Could you imagine? We should have a female ensemble cast of the more older ladies.
And Glenn Close.
Yes, Glenn Close, Helen Mirren, Judi Dench.
Yes.
Like just all the oldies.
Yeah. I mean, the one thing that crew is missing is an intelligent English person.
Yes.
They've got a scatty Irish person.
That's a good point. She could have just been English, Helen Bonham Carter, but yeah, they went for the Irish route.
They need an English lady.
So Helen Mirren would have been great. That would have been awesome, but I guess budget constrictions.
Yes.
Constraints. Budget constraints.
Or just that's the way the writer wanted it.
Yeah.
Julie Waters, the woman who plays, she is in Harry Potter as Molly Weasley.
Oh yes, yeah.
Oh yeah, she'd be cool. She's really sassy, but also very sweet.
Yeah.
She'd be wonderful in an Ocean's film, in particular. But yeah, we've had the female heist film. I feel like we need more sort of standard genre films with a twist that it's all females now.
We need a female post-apocalyptic nuclear wasteland film.
Resident Evil.
That's not nuclear wasteland, though, is it? That's zombie apocalypse.
Yeah.
And that's not even all female. It's just Mila Jovovich and a bunch of blokes most of the time.
Yeah, good point.
That one time there's Jill Valentine.
And Claire
Redfield.
Who they do very bad disservices to, but we won't get into that. Not right now.
Emily Blunt. Just sorry, one more.
Oh yeah, Emily Blunt's cool.
Emily Blunt would be good.
Put your hands up. No, but I've got a gun. I don't care. It doesn't make any sense. Too bad.
So Tom, what would you rate this film?
What would I rate this film?
Yeah, what rating would you give this film?
Damn, I needed to. We were supposed to write down the ratings that we've given to the other films.
Let's just disregard the other films because I gave Ant-Man a 6 out of 10, and then that affected how I gave other films scores, and I felt like it was unfair.
Yeah, you can't just have it as a bar of how good was it compared to Ant-Man.
just because I gave Ant-Man.
If we compare every film to Ant-Man, then most films are fucked.
No, because what we did was I gave Ant-Man 6 out of 10, and then the next week I gave something else a lower rating because it doesn't really compare to Ant-Man, but it doesn't feel like it's only a 5.
Is it Cargo?
Yeah,
I gave Cargo a lower rating than Ant-Man, but I feel like it deserved more than the rating I gave it. But I couldn't give it a higher rating because then it would be higher than Ant-Man.
Yeah,
so let's just disregard what we've already done.
Okay.
What would you give this film? On its own merits.
Out of 10. I think it was a 7. Solid film. 7 is sort of average rating for a film for me. I think
surely a 5 is average.
No. if a film, it's very hard for a film to be lower than a 5, right? Any film that's lower than a 5 is fucking awful for me. 7 is an average film because I sat through the whole film without realising that, the 2 hours had gone by. It didn't feel long to me.
Oh, I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Yeah, so...
I see what he means, because a 5 is watchable. Anything under 5 is like, I'm wasting my time.
Yeah.
But anything over 5 means I actually enjoyed watching it. But you can sit and watch something and then at the end of it be like, well, I'm not watching that again.
There's a little like
Window.
4, 3 are like, I'm not even going to bother watching this. But 2 and 1 are so bad that you can watch it.
I don't know. I don't know. I think 1 and 2 are really bad. I think 3 is Resident Evil. 4 is just watchable, and 5 is average, but not a bit more than passable.
What about conundrums like The Room? Because that is
That's a 1.
solid 1. But
It's a 1, but it's also a 10.
yeah.
Oh, maybe a 3 then? I don't know.
No, it's 100% a 1. I say it's also a 10 because it is the worst film ever made, and that makes it a really good film.
Oh wait, The Room is... I did not do it. I did not. That one. Okay.
I didn't hit her. I did
not.
not.
You're tearing me apart, Lisa!
So, as a...
Oh, hi, Mark.
From a film standpoint, as a film student, it's a 1, but culturally, it's a 10.
It's
a
a
10.
10.
Yeah.
It's a conundrum. I would actually
But
give
yeah,
this film
Ocean's
an
8.
8, though. Ocean's
Nice.
8 gets an 8. I really quite enjoyed it. I really like heist films, though. But there has to be good. One of my favourite films is Snatch. I fucking love that film. It's brilliant. But yeah, Ocean's 8 gets an 8.
I'm glad you enjoyed it as well. I haven't seen a lot of heist films in all honesty, but I really want to because they sound like my kind of gig.
Have you seen Italian Job?
No, I haven't.
You should definitely watch the Italian Job.
But I want to watch heist films. The intricate planning and then the heist. It all sounds very good. Maybe like Reservoir Dogs, but Reservoir Dogs is like a bank robbery gone wrong.
Yeah.
But that's as close to a heist film as I've really seen.
I mean, that is a heist film. It's just a heist film that goes wrong.
Yeah.
I guess
that's its own genre, isn't it? The heist that goes wrong.
Yeah.
Actually, I assume yeah, I guess, is it really a heist film, though? That's a difficult one. But I get what you're saying.
Snatch isn't really a heist film,
No,
so
Snatch
it's
isn't a
not.
heist film.
Sorry, I don't know why I said that, but I love Snatch. We should do Snatch.
Is it because heist films are predominantly just like sassy British men or something?
I love sassy British men.
Yeah, like those sort of cocky British men films. But
Well,
anyway,
no, I think
sorry.
the definition of a heist film is pretty much what Oceans is. It's like a stereotypical heist film. You have interesting characters, an intricate idea, and a linear plot.
So it's an ensemble cast that revolves around intricate details of a heist.
Yeah.
I think I would give it a 7 as well. Just because the middle and the end, the heist and then the post-heist scenes are really good, really well done, and really exciting. Even though the beginning had a very slow pace, it's still built on these characters really well. And also just the fact that the actresses that they have for this film, the ensemble cast is just really fantastic. So just being able to see these characters in any kind of film is like really nice. So I think it was a pretty solid film, and I feel like on second viewing, now that I have seen it, it will probably go a bit more smoothly when I watch it. So I won't be sitting there thinking, God, it's been like an hour, why is nothing happening?
You'll also care more about the cameos.
Yeah, exactly.
Because obviously that Chinese guy and the old dude, whose name I don't remember either, but they're from the other Oceans films. They're in there for the previous watchers, which obviously you are not. So it's just like, who's this old dude? Why the does he matter?
Okay, I don't even understand what happened in there. What did I say?
You called his niece a whore. A very cheap one.
What?
She's 7.
Thank you so much for listening. You can like, comment, subscribe. We are on Soundcloud, iTunes, all the different things. If you want to get in contact, you can find us at whatson_podcast on Twitter, or what'sonpodcast@outlook.com, or you can just comment on any of the apps that you're listening to this on, or the websites, etc. So please feel free to get in contact with us and leave some comments and opinions or questions or whatever, and we'll have a look at those. Other than that, we will see you next week. And apologies for not uploading last week, but life got in the way.
Yeah.
As we are adults. Some of us are moving, some of us have work, but we do try and upload as regularly as possible.
We shouldn't miss next week, I don't believe.
No, I don't think so. I think we'll be alright.
So yeah.
It was just that one time. So we will see you next week. Thank you for listening. Bye.
Bye.
See ya.